This video is presented by Audiobooks Now. They offer a selection of over 320,000 digital audiobooks that can be downloaded and/or streamed. In the description of, and as the pinned comment for this video, is a special link from me, Ryan Holman, to a 30-day free trial of Audiobooks Now, and also to get 50% off of your first audiobook. In September 2024, Hurricane Helene made contact with the United States. In the aftermath of the storm, various people aided the rescue and recovery efforts. One of these people was two-time NASCAR champion Greg Biffle, who flew his helicopter to both find survivors and get supplies to areas. It has even been proposed that Biffle get the Presidential Medal of Freedom. This may be the first time a lot of people are hearing about Biffle, so I think it would be interesting to discuss a significant NASCAR accomplishment of his, namely his winning streak at Homestead-Miami Speedway in Florida. First, I will give some background. Biffle started to compete in the NASCAR National Series in 1996. Less than 2 years later, he started to drive for the Strong Roush Racing team full-time. He primarily competed in the Truck Series from 1998 to 2000, where he won 14 races, Rookie of the Year in 1998, and the championship in 2000. Then, Biffle concentrated on the Sportsman Series in 2001 and 2002. Those years, he won 9 races and, in the latter year, the championship. That same year, Biffle started to compete in the Cup Series, although he only qualified for 7 of the 10 races he entered, but he did also qualify in the top 5 3 times. Biffle then started to drive full-time for Roush in the Cup Series in 2003. After getting no top 10 finishes the previous season, Biffle improved to getting 6 in 2003, including an upset win at the Firecracker 400. The next year, NASCAR changed the Cup Series from determining its champion by whoever scored the most points during the season to having playoffs. Even though Biffle had a dominating win at Michigan, where he led for 73 of 200 laps, he missed the inaugural playoffs. Entering the season finale at Homestead, Biffle was ranked 21st in the championship. However, his shown talent and equipment quality meant that Biffle had a good chance at being a spoiler winner at the championship race. Additionally, he had a best finish of 3rd at the track for the 2001 Sportsman Series race there. Biffle qualified in 2nd place to teammate Kurt Busch, who was attempting to win the championship. Biffle stated that he would not challenge Busch on the first lap, so he could get 5 bonus points for leading a lap. However, Biffle also said that he intended to lead as much of the race as he could. At the start, Biffle kept plenty of room between him and Busch. As he moved into an opening behind Busch, the race had its first caution period when Mike Bliss and Hermie Sadler crashed. The race restarted on lap 5 and Biffle successfully passed Busch before the lap ended. Moments later, there was another caution due to a multi-car crash. Busch was initially close to Biffle when the race restarted on its 10th lap, but Biffle quickly moved away from him. By lap 17, Biffle led Jeff Gordon by 1.7 seconds. 9 laps later, the lead increased by about a half second. Unfortunately for Biffle, the field bunched up under caution due to debris being on the main straightaway on the 48th lap. Biffle and most drivers pitted during this caution. After getting 4 new tires and fuel, Biffle was the first driver to exit the pit lane. He then moved ahead of the field when the race restarted on lap 53. By lap 62, Biffle had a significant lead over Busch. Suddenly on lap 93, Busch lost a wheel and the race had another caution time. Biffle made his 2nd pit stop along with most of the field during this time. He narrowly beat Ryan Newman back to the track. Racing resumed on lap 98 and Biffle quickly moved away from Newman. Then Jeremy Mayfield crashed on lap 113 after having a tire failure and the race had a caution. The 3rd stop for most drivers then occurred. Biffle got 4 new tires and fuel. However, there was rain during the caution and Biffle was in 5th place. Moments later, 3rd place Jeff Gordon had a tire failure and Biffle gained a position when Gordon pitted. Racing eventually continued on lap 132, with Biffle behind Newman, Elliott Sadler, and Jimmy Johnson. Entering turn 1 on the next lap, Johnson was passed by Biffle. Right before lap 138 ended, Biffle got past Sadler and was now chasing Newman. 8 laps later, Biffle closed the gap and got the lead again on lap 147. Mere seconds later, the race had yet another caution. This time, Bliss crashed by himself. Biffle got the same type of stop he had gotten in each of his previous ones. He would now be behind Tony Stewart, Kevin Harvick, and Bobby Labonte. The race restarted on lap 152 and Biffle was passed Labonte by the exit of turn 2. Another of Biffle's teammates, Matt Kenseth, who had been lapped, made contact with Harvick, causing him to drop back and Biffle to get past him. The race had its 7th caution when Sadler crashed on the main straightaway on lap 156. Leader Sturt had Biffle in second behind him and Kenseth to his inside for the 161st lap restart. However, this racing stint was brief due to another multi-car crash causing an additional caution 2 laps later. Soon, after the race restarted on lap 171, Sturt was given a pass-through penalty since he was swerving too late on the final caution lap. Before Sturt went to the pits, there was debris on the track and a race had a caution, now with Biffle in position to get back the lead. Biffle got 4 new tires and fuel, however, with various drivers not pitting or having quicker stops, likely due to getting less service, Biffle was now much further in the field. Scott Wimmer slowed up on the restart, causing drivers close behind him, including Biffle, to also slow and or move around the straightaway. Before Biffle could gain many positions, the race had a caution time due to Jeff Burton having debris fall off of his car. Biffle pitted during this period. Biffle was then 7th for the lap 196 restart. Once again, before Biffle gained significantly, there was another debris caution. This time it was on lap 199 on the main straightaway. The race restarted on lap 208 with Biffle in 3rd behind Rusty Wallace and Jamie McMurray. With 47 laps remaining, Biffle was in 2nd and challenged Wallace for the lead. 3 laps later, there was a caution for oil on the track from Jeff Green having an engine failure. During the caution period, Biffle followed Wallace to the pits. Although Wallace only replaced 2 tires, Biffle decided to replace all of his tires. Additionally, he got enough fuel to finish the race. Racing resumed on lap 232 with Biffle restarting in about 20th place. By lap 250, Biffle was up to 8th and was close behind Busch and Ricky Rudd. Entering turn 1 of the next lap, Biffle got past Rudd. About the same position of the lap after that, he then passed Busch. Moments later, Martin Truex Jr. had a tire failure, resulting in car and tire parts getting onto the track, and the field bunched up under the ensuing caution, much to Biffle's benefit. He would be behind Newman, Sturt, Jarrett, Gordon, and Johnson for the restart, while lap driver Joe Nemechek was to Newman's inside. The race restarted with just 10 laps remaining. Biffle quickly passed Johnson, entering turn 1. As he tried to pass Jarrett, Biffle got slowed up by Nemechek and Gordon. Soon afterwards, Johnson got back past Biffle. Going down the back straightaway, Biffle got next to Johnson. It continued to be like this as they went down the back straightaway. Entering turn 3, Biffle completed the pass. Gordon was then passed by Biffle. Towards the end of lap 263, Biffle started to challenge Jarrett. In turn 1, Jarrett was passed by Biffle. Suddenly, the next lap, Newman had a tire failure and crashed. The race had another caution time, which would be overtime.
A 2-lap race for the win and for the championship. A little overtime. Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, Kurt Busch behind Tony Stewart and Greg Biffle. Who wins and who wins the title?
Tony brought him down pretty nice. Here they go.
Gordon looking for second on Biffle.
But Biffle.
And wow. Biffle looking for the lead on Tony Stewart. Johnson 3 wide to the outside.
How about that move for Biffle? Hung on to it and took the lead at the same time.
And Kurt Busch making sure they all don't end up in a smoking pile.
Jimmy Johnson second. Jeff Gordon trying outside Tony Stewart. Will he get it? I think he will when he gets down on the straightaway. Got the momentum.
White flag, 1 lap to go. Look at this, Kurt might get challenged by some of these guys coming up behind him.
He certainly doesn't need to lose those positions.
Jimmy Johnson to second. Jeff Gordon third. Kurt Busch in 5th and trying to hang on to that spot. If he stays there, he wins the title.
You may see a Hail Mary here by the 20 car, right on the back bumper of Jeff Gordon. Don't think he can do it.
Checkered flag is up. Greg Biffle wins the Ford 400 at the Homestead-Miami Speedway.
After qualifying second, leading for a race high 117 of 271 laps, Biffle won his first race at Homestead and his 3rd in the Cup Series. The win was enough to move Biffle up to 17th in the championship. The race was very good for the Roush team, and Busch finished 5th, which was enough to earn him the championship. Biffle's performance from the end of 2004 carried over to the next season. He won 5 of the first 15 races and also led the Cup Series standings for the first time in his career. Biffle won his first crown jewel race by winning the Southern 500. He qualified for the playoffs and was ranked 2nd after the points were reset for it. Entering the Homestead season finale, Biffle was 4th in the championship and was 102 points behind leader Stewart. For reference, a win and leading just 1 lap gave a driver 185 points. However, Biffle's last win was Michigan, the 15th race. The other 2 drivers in the championship battle were Johnson and Carl Edwards, a teammate of Biffle's. Biffle qualified for the race in 7th place. At the start, Biffle got close behind Martin, who started 5th. By the end of the lap, Biffle was past him. However, by that point, McMurray had gone past both of them. On lap 6, Biffle got past Casey Mears for 5th place in turn 4. Mears continued to be close to Biffle and briefly got past him in the next lap. Then, on the 8th lap, Gordon got around Mears and then passed Biffle. The race had its first caution due to a multi-car crash on lap 16. Biffle pitted during this time. He got 4 new tires and fuel. Additionally, the Roush team made air pressure adjustments to Biffle's left side tires. He lost 2 positions before returning to the track and restarting 8th on lap 21. Then, the race had its second caution period when Kyle Busch crashed 4 laps later. For the 29th lap restart, Biffle was in 7th position. By lap 41, Biffle had dropped a ranking and he said he was having to pump his brakes to get them to work. 3 laps later, Labonte spun and the race had its third caution. Biffle pitted with most of the field and remained in 8th place, as his team decided not to address the brake issue. On lap 56, Biffle got past Harvick for 5th, 8 laps after the restart. By lap 87, Biffle had dropped to 7th, though he was close behind 6th place Casey Kane. However, Kane soon moved away from him. After David Stremme crashed on the 89th lap, Biffle got 4 new tires and fuel when he pitted during the ensuing caution period. He also got a left side wedge adjustment and a right rear spring rubber. By this point, Biffle was 10th and remained there after pitting. However, he improved his position to 9th by the time Scott Riggs crashed on lap 102, causing the race's 5th caution time. On lap 121, Biffle passed Newman for 5th place. Then, on lap 126, Johnson crashed out of the race due to a tire failure. During the following caution, Biffle made a pit stop where more spring rubber was added to the right rear. As a result, he lost 4 positions. By lap 155, he had returned to being in 5th position. Biffle was also getting closer to Mears in 4th. In the next 5 laps, Biffle had dropped from being in the top 5. Then, on lap 168, there started to be a caution period for debris. When Biffle pitted during this time, he got 4 new tires, fuel, a wedge adjustment, and more spring rubber. This time, the latter was for the left rear. As a result, Biffle lost 2 positions. 23 laps after the lap 174 restart, Gordon and Newman made contact, causing bodywork on Newman's car to start rubbing his left front tire and him to pit, gaining Biffle a position. With 36 laps remaining, Biffle pitted. Then, on lap 251, there was another caution time for debris. Most of the field made pit stops. This included Biffle, whose team only changed 2 tires this time, besides getting fuel into his car. On lap 257, the race restarted with Biffle in 4th. Then, with just 8 laps to go, Biffle went between leader Dave Blaney and 2nd place Martin and got the lead. Biffle moved a bit ahead of Martin, who, with 3 laps to go, Martin made a challenge for the lead.
2 to go when they get to the line this time.
I think the last lap, Biffle about hit the wall. Had to check up a little bit. Boy, Pat Thompson, you hear he wants this, and he wants it so bad. But probably so does Doug Richards, Takuchi for Greg Biffle.
Now Mark got through turn 2, awfully good that lap. Half and a half to go. Stewart's still in 15th.
Joel Edmonds, the spotter for the 16 car.
Mark goes to the bottom, picking up the throttle. Got a pretty good run. He's there, right beside him. Last lap of the season. Teammates Mark Martin and Greg Biffle fighting for the lead while Tony Stewart tries to hang on to his position to clinch the championship.
This is going to be good off the 2. This has been Biffle's sweet spot off the 2nd corner.
Mark's there.
He's there.
And I think Mark's been better in 4.
Looks that way.
if he can hold on. What Biffle drove in deep. Will it stick? Oh, he's sliding up the track. Out of 4, they come to the line. Wow, Greg Biffle wins the race.
For the second consecutive year, Biffle won at Homestead. This time he did so after leading just 9 of the race's 267 laps and starting 7th. However, the win was not enough to get Biffle the championship, which went to Stewart. Biffle finished second in the 2005 championship. The 6 wins he had during the year were the most of any driver. Biffle's 2006 season was a disappointment after doing great the year prior. Although he won at Darlington for the second consecutive year, Biffle was very inconsistent. Counting the aforementioned win, he finished in the top 10 12 times out of the first 26 races, but Biffle also finished outside the top 25 in 9 races during the same time period. Biffle finished the regular season ranked 12th, so he missed the playoffs. Out of the first 9 playoff races, Biffle finished outside the top 35 times. However, he and his team had shown that they could win in 2006, and they still had yet to race at Homestead and try to get their 3rd consecutive win there. For the Homestead season finale, Biffle qualified in 22nd place out of the 43 starters. However, he had the opportunity to get to the front of the field over the course of the race's scheduled 400 miles. Ironically, Biffle was starting next to former title rival Stewart, who also missed the 2006 playoffs. Biffle was using the same car he had used to win the previous 2 races at the track. At the start, Biffle got close to Truex, who was starting directly ahead of him. On the 7th lap, the race had its first caution period when Labonte and Kurt Busch crashed on the back straightaway. Biffle was amongst the drivers who did not pit during the following caution. On lap 15, Biffle battled with Truex and Johnson for 9th. Then, the race had its second caution. This was because, once again, Busch crashed. On lap 40, Biffle got past Riggs for 3rd position. 5 laps later, debris in turn 3 caused the race to have caution period number 3. Biffle and the rest of the field pitted during this time, with Biffle remaining in 3rd as they returned to the track. After the race restarted on lap 50, leader Kane and 2nd place Kyle Busch moved away from Biffle. On the 91st lap, Busch started to be challenged for 2nd by Biffle. Next lap, entering turn 1, Biffle got into the next ranking. Then, on lap 105, Biffle pitted and got a wedge adjustment on his car's left rear, besides getting 4 new tires and fuel. He also said that his car was loose in each turn. A dozen laps later, Busch crashed and the race had a caution. During this time, Biffle followed Kane to the pits. Biffle was able to return to the race first of the drivers who pitted. For the lap 121 restart, Biffle was 3rd behind Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Truex, neither of whom pitted. 27 laps later, Dave Blaney had a tire failure and debris from this got onto the track, causing the race's 5th caution time to occur. At this point, Biffle was in 3rd when he and most other drivers pitted during the caution. Biffle did not gain or lose any positions. For the 166 lap restart, Biffle was behind Truex and Kane. Lap driver McMurray, a teammate of Biffle's, dropped back and prevented Biffle from passing Kane on the inside. In the first 2 turns, Biffle got next to Kane and briefly was ahead of him. Going down the back straightaway, Biffle got behind Kane. 2 laps later, Biffle tried to pass Kane again. However, he lost momentum after getting next to lap driver Gordon. On lap 174, David Gilliland crashed and the race had a caution period. The race restarted 5 laps later and there quickly was a gap between 2nd place Kane and Biffle in 3rd. Montoya and Menard, who were each still lapped, were ahead of Biffle. Near the end of lap 186, Biffle was challenging Kane. 3 laps later, Gordon crashed out of the race, which had its 7th caution as a result. Biffle made a pit stop, but exited the pits 11th of the drivers who stopped. 2 laps after the 194th lap restart, Biffle tried to pass Johnson for 15th, but lap driver Petty slowed in front of Biffle. The next lap in turns 3 and 4, Biffle tried to get past Johnson again, with lap driver Bobby Hamilton Jr. close to them on the outside. On lap 198, as Biffle continued to pursue Johnson, they got past Sorensen, moving Biffle up to 15th position. On the following lap, Biffle passed Johnson in turn 1. However, Johnson then got back past him and then Biffle got past him another time on the back straightaway. On lap 205, there was a caution due to oil getting on the track from Bliss having an engine failure. During this time, Biffle's team had a quick enough pit stop to gain him 8 positions. After the race restarted on the 210th lap, Biffle took the high line to try to get by Kenseth. Then, with 55 laps to go, Biffle caught up to the top 2, Kane and Riggs, and challenged them for the lead. Next lap, entering turn 1, Riggs got passed by Biffle, who then got very close to Kane. Going down the back straightaway, they made contact. Then, Biffle got the lead as they entered turn 3. Quickly, Biffle increased his lead. Suddenly, with just 21 laps remaining, there was another caution. This time, Newman spun. Biffle then led the drivers who wanted to stop during the caution to the pits. When the race restarted with 16 laps remaining in it, Biffle was in second place, behind J.J. Yaley, who stayed on the track during the caution. In turn 2, Biffle got back the lead. At about the same time, Montoya had a major crash and caused another caution. NASCAR determined that Yaley was the leader. The race was then stopped. With 11 laps remaining, the race was restarted. In turn 2, Biffle got past Yaley and had the lead. By the time Kane moved into second the next lap, Biffle had a significant lead over him. Then, with 6 laps remaining, Mears had an engine failure and there was a caution time due to debris from it getting onto the track. This would cause the race to go into overtime.
Green flag in the air for the final time this season.
Hey, don't forget about that 11 car.
And here comes Hamlin. That's going to help Biffle out a great deal as he battles with Casey Kane.
Oh! Boy, it sure looked like Hamlin got loose down there. Truex is going to take that spot away, and he's working on second.
Truex and Kane. That's for second behind Greg Biffle.
And Truex can see the leader directly in front of him, but does he have enough time?
Looking for his first ever Nexstar Cup Series win. Last lap of the season. Jimmy Johnson in the 48 car closing in on the championship. Biffle looking for the win. Truex trying to play spoiler up front.
Don't think Truex is going to have enough. Biffle got a really great restart. Too many car lengths.
Biffle going for 3 in a row. Through 3 and 4 for the final time. Coming to the finish line. Greg Biffle goes 3 in a row at Homestead. And Jimmy Johnson is the 2006 NASCAR Nexstar Cup Series champion.
For the 3rd consecutive year, Biffle won the Cup Series race at Homestead. He led for 47 of 268 laps and came from the 22nd starting position. As of 2023, Biffle has started another 10 series races at the track, but only finished in the top 10 twice, 10th in 2010 and 5th in 2012. In fact, Biffle only led 2 more Cup Series laps at the track. Meanwhile, Biffle's only other NASCAR entry at Homestead, after his winning streak, was the 2007 Sportsman Series race there, where he finished 6th. From 2004 to 2006, Biffle was dominant at Homestead. Besides the wins, he led for 193 of 806 laps, about 21% of the laps, and had an average start of 10th place.